The 2-2. Popped up. Sandoval in foul territory. Giants win.
0-2.
Alright guys, welcome to the final episode of the Rivalry Sports Talk Winter Meetings Edition. This is episode 4 of 4, and today we're going to be talking about other small deals that happened during the winter meetings, maybe nothing so big, and then we are also going to talk about recent news, and we are going to talk about free agents that are actually still on the market right now. So to start off, let's talk about some of the smaller things that actually happened in the winter meetings. We'll start off with the Mets and Pirates trade. Neil Walker to the Mets and John Neese to the Pirates.
Yes.
Now, knowing that the Mets weren't going to re-sign Daniel Murphy, they went out and got Neil Walker, good second baseman.
Yes.
I want to say, he's 30 years old, batted .269 last year, 16 home runs, 71 RBIs in 151 games. Mm-hmm. Pirates don't need him anymore. They have Jung Ho Kong once he comes back from his ACL injury or MCL injury.
Yes.
Something like that. And then but the Mets traded away John Neese. Now, John Neese gets a lot of criticism because he doesn't throw 100 miles an hour like everybody else in their rotation.
Yeah.
But I think he's still a good pitcher, even though he had a kind of a down year last year with 4.13 ERA, 33 games played, and 176.2 innings pitched. And the truth is, Mets don't need him. They have Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Steven Matz, the rookie sensation last year, and they re-signed Bartolo Colon. So I think across the board, this is probably the most even trade I've seen in a long time. But yeah, I think great trade, both sides.
Yes.
Another one. And another one.
Another team that, even though losing Jeff Samardzija in the offseason, were the White Sox, they decided to make some moves too. They proved with these next moves that they are in a win-now kind of mentality. They went out and traded the Oakland Athletics for Brett Lowry. Now, Lowry, I thought they wanted him to go fit in at third base, but they also said they can move him to second. I think that with 2 years left on his contract, he's 26 years old. I think the most fun thing about this is that he's going to be playing the Royals 19 times a year. And we all know, and if you don't know, Lowry with the A's 2 years ago with the Royals had just with the slide.
Tied at 4 in the 7th inning. Off of Herrera's foot. And Moustakas flips to second base, and a hard slide by Laurie into Alcides Escobar.
Him getting hit.
Ventura gets tossed.
He doesn't like the Royals too much. Not at all. So the fact that they get to play them 19 times a year, this is going to be a real fun.
He can't wait.
Oh, no, he can't wait at all. But as far as what they gave up left-handed pitcher Zachary Irwin and right-handed pitcher J.B. Wendelken. Now, Irwin is a young guy, 21 years old. I want to say he's only played single A, and he's been on the White Sox rookie team. But he has a 1.34 ERA. Now, obviously, once he gets into Double A, this will really tell whether that carries up.
Yeah.
But I think that the A's got a very good young guy that they're going to be able to use in the next 2 or 3 years. And as far as Wendelken, 22 years old, right-handed guy, 4.11 ERA in the minors, but in Double A, he had a 2.72 ERA. But once he got bumped up to Triple A, he had a 4.51. So as far as what will he be up for this next year, I don't think so. Maybe September call-ups, but they gave up 2 very high-priced pitching prospects, in my opinion, which, I mean, just even proves that the White Sox really just want to win now. And with that, they went out and got also Todd Frazier.
Todd Frazier going to the Chicago White Sox. He is a great player, won the 2015 Home Run Derby.
30 seconds to hit one to win. Bye-bye. There it is! The hometown hero has done it!
And he's going to be a great fit in Chicago. But with him at third, that's going to move Lowry to second.
Yeah.
But the thing about Lowry, he can also play short.
Yeah, and I think he fits better, in my opinion, at second base. And it just gives the White Sox a more solidified infield.
Yes.
So, overall, I think good move. I think they gave up a lot, obviously, with the prospects we talked about before. All those prospects came from the White Sox, and they, in that trade. So I think they gave up a lot for him, but if they're in that win now, and plus they have to keep pace with the other team in Chicago, with the Cubs doing what they do. So,
you got a fan base that you're going to want to win.
Exactly. You have to please them. So, overall, I think great move for the White Sox. And overall, we moved to one of my favorite free agents on the market this year in Mike Leake. He signed with the Cardinals for 5 years and $80 million. He's 28 years old. He's a 28-year-old right-hander. He had a 3.7 ERA, 192 innings pitched, and the main thing at least in the National League, he can hit.
Yeah.
He's a great hitting pitcher, super athletic, fields his position phenomenally, and this is a signing I really wanted the Dodgers to get him because he eats innings. And he can get it to the 8th and 9th inning guy without having to go. I just think he's going to be I think, in my opinion, he's probably one of the most underrated pitchers in the MLB. As far as the Cardinals, I think it's a great signing for the Cardinals. And I think they will use him probably in the 3 spot this year.
Yes. Well, as a Giants fan, I was excited when they signed him last season in 2015.
Oh, yeah, when they traded for him.
I thought he was a great pickup. I thought we needed him, but he didn't do what we wanted him to do.
Yeah, and partially to you guys' injury, lack of run support.
Yes.
For some reason, every time he pitched, you guys could not score a run to save your lives. I watched a lot of his games because I was hoping he was going to be a future Dodger. But, no, you guys could not give him run support at all.
No.
Cardinals, overall, great signing. Another team which almost knocked out the World Series champions, they were only 2 innings away, was the Houston Astros. They re-signed their best bullpen guy in Tony Sipp. He had 3 years, $18 million. He had a 1.99 ERA all last year, only gave up 5 home runs with 54 innings pitched. I mean, he was really their rock in the bullpen. But the problem was that they didn't have a closer. Sipp was great, but he didn't have closer kind of stuff.
No.
So they went out and got Ken Giles. And this kid, after Papelbon left to the Nationals and that whole thing, this kid took over. And in over 2 seasons, in 2014, he had a 1.18 ERA and 45 innings pitched. He only gave up 1 home run. And just last year, the 1.8 ERA, 70 innings pitched and only 2 home runs. He's given up 3 career home runs. And he's 25 years old. With what the Astros needed to do as far as fixing bullpen issues, I think they did it. I think they went out and they traded away 4 top pitching prospects, and actually Mark Apple, which was the 2013 #1 overall pick. They gave up a load for him, but Astros, they have a great farm system. They still have many prospects they could still trade. I think Astros are silently making their way back to an AL West championship. The stuff we're going to cover next is more recent stuff. This happened in the last week or 2. So, and this one kind of surprised me as far as it happened sooner than I expected, even though the whole thing was dragged out. It's the Alex Gordon signing. What did you think about that one?
I thought it was a great sign. I thought it was great for the Royals to re-sign him, He helped the Royals out big time in the World Series against the Mets, and they re-signed him 4 years, $72 million. And the question is, did they overpay?
And this is a hard one because I think Alex Gordon is worth a lot of money. I just don't. For the Royals, I think they overpaid. If it was any other, even just doesn't even have to be a small market team. If the Giants, Dodgers, Red Sox, Yanks, anybody else, even the Orioles, don't think he would overpay. But for the Royals, with what they want to do as far as small market teams, and their window is now closing. Re-signing Alex Gordon for 4 more years, $72 million. I think they overpaid just a bit. But a different question: did they need to re-sign Alex Gordon?
I don't know. That's the big question.
Yeah.
But like I said, he was the right fit for him. The Royals love him. Royals fan base loves him.
Yeah.
And he loves being a Royal.
Yeah, and he was brought up there. So, I mean, overall, I think he fits the system well. I think as far as for the next 2, maybe 3 years, it's a great signing. It's just cool. I'm wondering, will they trade?
Last year.
Yeah, maybe the last 2, maybe the last year. Will they trade him away, or what will they do? So with that, let's move to a postseason hero in Daniel Murphy. Now,
Not a World Series hero.
Not a World Series hero, but a postseason hero. As far as for me, I don't like the guy very much, but that's besides the point. He signs with the Nationals, 3 years, $37.5 million. I mean, this last year he batted .281 with a 322 OBS and 14 home runs. That was just in the season. Now, in the first 9 games of the postseason, when the Mets ended up taking out the Dodgers in 5 and sweeping the Cubs, he batted .421. He had an on-base percentage of .436, and he's slugging .1.026. Now, this could possibly go down as one of the best individual performances in postseason history.
Well, I think it will go down as the best postseason.
Yeah.
I mean, unbelievable how many home runs he hit in the amount of
7
games.
in a row?
7. And, I mean, was it a fluke? Maybe. But in the season, he never did that.
Yeah.
Yes, he hit home runs here and there, but he
Yeah.
didn't do it back to back or anything like that. But does he fit the Nationals?
With the Nationals, with what they want to do, I would have liked to see them re-sign somebody like Howie Kendrick, maybe. But if they were looking for another left-handed bat, which Daniel Murphy's a lefty, so I think overall, I think it's a good signing. Do I think they overpaid a bit? Yes, but I think he will do well for them, especially with Bryce Harper and with the Nationals. They're still in a we want to win now situation also.
Yes.
All right, so next we move on to the whole Drew Storen and Ben Revere trade.
Yes, the Nationals, after they gave up Denard Span, or not give up, after
Lost
they lost Denard Span, they needed somebody to fill that role out in center field, and they got a guy who can fill that center field position, and that's Ben Revere. Ben Revere is a speedy guy. He has range. He's going to be a great leadoff hitter for the Nationals. He'll take over that spot. And Drew Storen, who I believe is a great relief pitcher. He was the closer until Papelbon got
that
there.
whole fiasco.
Yes.
Let's get ready to rumble!
But before Papelbon got there, he had a 1.73 ERA. But after Papelbon was there, he had a 3.44 ERA.
Yeah, and I think this is probably a great trade both ways. But one of the issues that's going to come up, at least for the Blue Jays, is do they go with Storen or Ozuna? And, I mean, Ozuna last year had a 2.58 ERA with 20 saves, 69.2 innings pitched in 68 games. He was 20 for 23 on his save attempts. So, I mean...
Keep in mind, he's also 20 years old.
This is true.
He's so young and so talented.
Yeah, and this guy performed in the postseason, closed out games for them. So, as far as who they go with, I think they throw Ozuna in the setup, and I think they throw Storen as their closer. But if something goes haywire, I could see them swapping that real quick.
I think that's how it will go at the beginning of the season. And like you said, you'll have to see how it goes. Then will flip-flop.
Yeah, exactly, and how he adjusts to the catcher and whatnot. All right, so enough about the Blue Jays. Now we move on to another free agent that just signed with the Tigers, and his name is Justin Upton. He signed for 6 years, $132.75 million. And I mean, this guy last year with the Pods, he batted .251, 26 home runs, and 81 RBIs. So good season. I think it's a great pickup for the Tigers. And, I mean, besides his offense, you were saying something about his defense.
He's a great defender, and he will be put in left field for the Tigers. He has great range. He knows how to track down a ball. And I think also for a power hitter, he's a very good base stealer.
Yeah.
He had 19 stolen bases last year, which nobody really pays attention about for a power hitter.
Yeah, exactly. And, I mean, just as far as the defending, you saw that catch against the Pirates
Yes.
when he just robbed McCutcheon of that home run.
Timing is everything. This is a grande liga play. Go up and over, snatch it back. Yeah, that's a Padres all-star right there. That is some kind of nice. Wow.
But yeah, one interesting thing for the Tigers is that their lineup is going to be right-handed. I think their only guy that bats lefty is Victor Martinez, and he's a switch.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting going up against the White Sox and the Royals with their pitching, how the right-handedness is going to fare well, whether they have problems.
Well, if they face the Dodgers anytime, I think they'll be good.
Oh,
They'll
they'll be just perfectly fine. Are you kidding me? All right.
Another guy who re-signed is Chris Davis, re-signing with the Baltimore Orioles, 7 years, $161 million, and I think he's a great fit for Baltimore. I really don't want to see him go anywhere else but the Orioles, and the only thing about him is that he's so inconsistent as a hitter. Back in 2014, he had a 196 batting average with 26 home runs and 76 RBIs, and then 2015, he comes out with 47 home runs and 117 RBIs for the Orioles.
Yeah, and I mean, 26 home runs and 72 RBIs doesn't seem
Like the Chris Davis
we've seen. Yeah, and I mean that's the funny part. That's not even bad.
No.
I mean that's for some hitters that's fantastic, but for him, that's such a bad year. And if he wants to reach that consistent level that people are saying he needs to get, I think he needs to stay with the Orioles.
And even the year before that, he had the 53 home run season with 138 RBIs, and then he comes out with those stats. And then last year, he comes out with even better stats, 47 home runs, like I said.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just very inconsistent, but I think he's a great fit for the Orioles.
Yeah, I think they really needed to do that
Yes.
as far as who they were going to pick up.
But as far as pitching-wise, as Chen goes to the Marlins, who would be the best fill-in spot for the Orioles in their rotation?
They're linked to Gallardo, which I think he would work well with the Orioles. The problem is giving up that pick. I mean, they have the 14th pick in the next draft, and I don't think that they're willing to give up for a guy like him. There's other people out here such as Matt Latos, Cliff Lee's talking about coming back. Those don't require picks, so I don't think the Orioles will get him. I think he would fit well there, but I think they go after somebody to like Latos and Lee to fill that starting rotation spot, which has been their problem all of last year.
All right, guys, another big sign in the MLB is Yoenis Cespedes finally coming to a deal with the New York Mets. 3 years, $75 million, and he can opt out after the first year. I like the deal for the Mets. Frank, what do you think about it?
I like it too, and I honestly think it's a win-win. The Mets, they really needed to get another bat back in that lineup, and Cespedes filled it. And the other thing, they stole him from the Nats. The Nats apparently had a big deal on the table, and if the Nats would have got Murphy and Cespedes away from the Mets wouldn't have even been in a postseason contention this year.
What do you think about the fielding for Cespedes? Can he play center? He's going to play center, but do you think he could play a little bit of left?
I think they're going to play him in center, but I think he's going to have to step it up because I think that the whole opt-out, that's the whole reason for the opt-out, is if he doesn't get he's going to get basically another chance to hit the free agent market, which is extremely weaker next year than this year. So I just think that it's a win-win. Mets get that big bat back from the lineup. Cespedes gets his money guaranteed. His first year, if he opts out, I want to say it's $27.5 million annually. That's higher than everybody, I want to say, except for Miggy, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so win-win, and I think just overall great deal for both sides of the year.
I agree.
All right, and as far as moves, that's pretty much what that's gonna be our base of our coverage. Ian Desmond. Now this guy, Nationals last year. Teams that are interested: Rockies, Padres, Diamondbacks, Mets, and Twins. Now, You're saying that,
Angels also.
Oh, Angels. That's right. You were saying the Angels. I don't think he goes to the Diamondbacks. I think the Diamondbacks end up signing Howie Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they'll have the cap to get Desmond. What do you think he ends up?
I would say I heard Angels, but then they also got Andrelton Simmons.
That's true.
So I think the Angels will be out. The Twins, I don't think they're ready to give Ian Desmond money, or
Yeah.
I don't think he's...
And he's coming off an off year, so
Yes.
it's hard to judge.
I think he'll stay in the National League, and I think he'll go to the Diamondbacks.
So we move on to our last guy, and this is a guy that the market kind of closed for him real quick. And this is Howie Kendrick. Alright guys, and that's going to end it for today. This was the final episode of our winter meetings coverage. We talked about other notable small deals that happened during the winter meetings, more recent news, and we also talked about free agents that are still on the market. Guys, thank you for joining us. Tell us how this short little series went. Next up, we will be breaking down all the divisions. We will make our predictions as far as who we think is going to end up dead last or on top. And other than that, guys, thank you. Drop a like. Please subscribe. If you have anything, tell us how we did. Drop it down in the comment down below. Thank you guys for watching. And as always, respect the rivalry.
Alright guys, welcome to the... What's the name of our show?
What's the name of our show?
That's the blooper right there.
Oh, God.